Hi everyone, it's Paula from Paula Quilting. Today a short video about great resource for any craft project and for me sewing and quilting, buttons up shirts. So I do go to the charity shop every week to drop off my donations as I progress with my minimal house. So I've got a lot of stuff to get rid of on a weekly basis, so I don't shy from the opportunity to have a look what they've got on the hangers. Now I've been doing that before I start minimalizing my house as well, because buttons up shirts are a great resource for the great fabrics, and there's a lot of benefits of using the shirts, like for example taking things out of the landfill. If you are environmental conscious, that's one of those things you can think about as well. Second thing, those fabrics or those shirts have been washed many times, so things like losing dye or shrinkage, that's already resolved for you. The third thing, you will find them in many designs, so you can kind of build up your stash fairly quickly with nice designs, and you will find them in similar designs or the similar color scheme, so you can make your own bundles as well. So I do buy mainly 100% cotton shirts, and I don't like to spend more than £1 per shirt. So that's from the charity shop. If you have car boots or something like that nearby you, that would be a great resource to go as well to buy something. The bigger the shirt the better, because obviously the more fabric you will get out of it, but I'm not constrained with the size. If I like the fabric, it's not more than £1, I will buy it. Like I said, mainly 100% cotton. However, I am more going with a touch. So if there is a blend of the fabric but it's nice to touch, I always kind of imagine how will I feel if I cover myself with it. So if it's nice to the touch, like I said, all the shrinkage, dyeing, all of those things are resolved for you already. So I know that fabric will stay as is, so I really don't mind what type of blend is it in. However, depending on the fabric, sometimes you may run into the problem of fraying or things like that, so you may like to starch the fabric. And you can do it in 2 points of time. You can either wash your shirts, because that's the first thing you will do. You will pop them in the washing machine, wash them with the starch, so then you can iron them before you cut them perhaps, and you have it all starched ready for you to go with, or starch it when you work with it, when you have a pieces to work with. So it kind of, you can work out what's the best option for you. Now, if I do not have any particular design in my head when I'm buying shirt, and that's the most of the times, because just go in, I have a look at the rack, oh, there's a 1 or 2 nice shirts in the nice colors, I'll just buy them. Then I will go through my scrap management process with those shirts straight away. And again, you may think, why are you cutting fabric before you know what you will use it for? Few reasons for it as well. One, prepared fabric takes less space than the whole shirt. Two, because I don't have a lot of time for sewing, if I don't have my fabric prepared in a way that it is quickly to pull out and do something with it, the chance of me actually using it up kind of goes down. And three, I've got certain sizes of the blocks I like to use. So that's how I'm preparing my fabric, so they kind of fit in those categories. If I've got a specific design in mind when kind of gathering fabric for it, it's part of my scrap management process, and I've got video about it. I will link it in the description below, that I will cut those shapes first, and then the rest I will go through the rest of my scrap management. So have a look at that video as well. Just to give you an idea what I'm talking about. So, how I'm dismantling my shirt? Well, you can be a little bit more accurate or less accurate, up to you how you want to treat your fabric. I like to be accurate, but that's just me. You could possibly just use the rotary cutter, cut it on the seams, or close to the seams, a job done. I like to use scissors, and cut out all of the places where the fabric has more than one layer. So I will be cutting out all of those seams out. It's because when I'm later going through the scrap management process, cutting of the fabric, you know, those will be obstacles for me, and if I do it straight away, I know it's all done and dusted. Now the bits with the buttons and the holes on the other side, there's a nice video I'm preparing for how you can use those up, and for that I need to cut it a little bit away from the actual strip here, just to give me fighting chance to use up in that project. So I will do that first. By a little bit I mean probably like an inch. You could go probably a little bit less as well, but just to make sure I've got a little bit of fabric here outside of that strip here to work with. So I will do the same thing with the buttonhole side, but I will get there in a minute. So I'm cutting off all that section with the collar. And now, depend on the collar, I will either cut it you know, more to pull out the fabric, or I will just bin it. This one it's got that interfacing, very heavy interfacing, and now I don't have a use for it, so I will bin it. And then I just go on the seams. And because I am cutting out the seams from both sides, it really doesn't matter which side I will go first. I'm standing at the moment, so it's quite inconvenient to do it that way. Normally I take all of my stack of the shirts and I wait when I've got like one load of the washing to do that, unless I'm, you know, unless I need that fabric for something, then I'll just gather it in the washing hamper and wash it in one go, and then I will just sit down in front of TV and do all my cutting. So this is basically what the fabric will look like. So there will be no seams anywhere, it will be nice and flat, and obviously when I cut them all, then I will iron before I start cutting the shapes out. Now again, if I don't have a particular design in mind, that back piece, this one is actually fitted because it's a tailored one, so there are those seams here, so I won't be able to use one whole piece for anything, so I will cut it here as well and just cut out those bits here out. But if that piece was one big, I would most likely just leave it as is. It's kind of a fat quarter and I will put it in my stash, but all the other bits and pieces I will cut out. Now I don't use for anything the cuffs. Again, some of you may have a use for it, so you can do that. So, but I will just cut out the cuffs. But if the cuff was not so heavy interfaced here, I will probably cut out again on the seam and recover some of that fabric from here. Let me see if I can do that on this one. I just go on the inside of the seams, like a double seams here. So one of those things will be fused, but the other side shouldn't. So let's see if we can pick up at least. Yeah, here we go. So you see, one of the sides was not fused, so I can actually use this bit. It's a quite big bit here of the fabric I can use now. How far you want to go with cutting out, or you know, repurposing of the shirts, bits and pieces, it depends how much time you've got and how much fabric you need. I mean, you already did a great job by taking it away from the landfill and using it up. So if scrappy is not your thing, don't force yourself to thinking about how you can use your scraps. Scraps are not for everyone. It takes much more time to make a scrappy quilt than make a quilt from bigger pieces or pieces you cut to exact specification. For those who never tried a crumb quilt, that take forever. I mean, it's fun process and you can, you know, get great results, but it's a lot of work. So not everyone enjoying piecing small pieces. together in the random combination. So it depends on the person. So here, you know, I was saying I will go very closely to the seams, but for the sleeves, one, check what the sleeve looks like, you know, on that armpit part, because sometimes that bit is quite damaged, so you would like to cut down as well. This one isn't, but what I do is just I'm trying to fold it as closely as possible to have the seams in the same line, and then I'll just go with one cut. So that's what I'm getting rid of. Same with that seam inside. Make it flat and then fold it into half to have the seam on the same side, and then I will just go as close as possible, and it's done. Okay, I will carry on with this shirt, and I'll probably do another one just to show you what I meant about that back, because this one is fitted, so I cannot show you on this one, but I've got a few more shirts which looks a little bit different on the back. So so let me quickly finish that one, and I will show you how the pieces looks like when they cut out. Okay, I finished cutting both of the shirts. So that's my pink one. Let's go with that one first. So those are the strips I will be using for that other project we've mentioned before. That's one of the fronts, some cuff materials. That was the sleeve. I cut the sleeve out straight away. It's just you know, faffling around to coating the shape is you know, time consuming, so I don't do that. That's the sleeve. A few bits from the cuffs again, sleeve, front, and few panels from the back. And also I did cut, you know, that yoke on the back and recover some fabric from that one. That shirt was quite heavily fused with the interfacing, so but I managed to recover quite a lot of those. So this is 1 pound worth of fabric, quite a lot I would say. And this was the second shirt I did. It had a short sleeves, just normal short sleeve button-up shirt. So those are the sleeve bits. I did recover the collar. Collar was that, you know, the small type of one. So again, one side was interfaced, the other one wasn't. So I recovered the strip of that one. But what I wanted to show you is that back. So that back is in one whole piece. And that will now go into my stash as a fat quarter, unless, like I've mentioned, there would have been a project I'm actually looking to do with this fabric, then I would cut it straight away. Cutting fabric with scissors takes more time than cutting with rotary cutter. However, I take that opportunity to also inspect the shirts. You know, sometimes people giving shirts which are just dirty, but sometimes they've got stains. So if I'm not sure, you know, I've washed that shirt, the stain didn't come off. So when it comes to the cutting, I do inspect it, and if I see any stain, I will just cut it out. I still can use the rest of the fabric, that's not the problem. But I don't want to worry that, you know, when I put, you know, by error, because I thought I will remember later, by error I've put some stains in my quilt. So I will inspect the fabric as I go, so that means that whatever I've got here is ready to go into the quilt. And actually the tutorial I'm preparing is for those strips. You can see I had a lot of shirts recently. So there's a lot of strips which are ready to go to the project, but I also will be using the pockets. So again, pockets were cut out a little bit bigger around, all smaller. I think I will work out how to put them in the project as well, and obviously I will show you. So this bucket is definitely overflowing, and those are literally all of those strips and pockets. So I really need to finish that tutorial fairly soon to get rid of some of those things. Also, some of the shirts had quite nice, those are all the pockets still, you know, so they sometimes got either label, which is more interesting than others, or they've got some sort of signs on them. For example, like that one, I kept those as well. And you know, if you're doing a memory quilt or something like that, you may like to add as an interest point label as well. So I've got a few of those somewhere here in the pile. You know, some cooler shirts I found, they had some nicer kind of iron on stuff, so I kept it as well for the future project. Okay. Okay, so as mentioned, there are two videos. One already you can have a look about my scrap management process, and the second, which is in preparation, about how I'm going to use up all of those trims. So please be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so, and press the bell, and you'll be notified when the next video will come up, so you can have a look as well. I hope you found this tutorial useful and you will be able to work with the shared fabric yourself if you haven't done before. And thanks for watching.